You finally get what you said you wanted. The deadline is over, the argument has ended, the messages have stopped, your schedule opens up, and nobody needs anything from you. You should feel relief. Instead, you check your phone, you search for a problem, you volunteer for another task, reopen an old conversation, or turn a small inconvenience into an emergency that needs your immediate attention. Why can peace feel more uncomfortable than pressure? The popular phrase is that you are addicted to chaos. It is memorable, but it is not a formal diagnosis, and it can make a complicated pattern sound like a character defect. A more careful explanation begins somewhere else. Your system may be more practiced at readiness than at rest. Start with the mechanism. Your body is designed to adjust when the environment changes. A difficult demand appears, your attention sharpens, your muscles prepare, and your energy moves toward action. When the demand ends, those systems are supposed to settle. But when stress is repeated, the adjustment itself becomes costly. Researchers use the term allostatic load to describe the cumulative physiological burden of repeatedly adapting to stress across several systems in the body. It is a framework for understanding what sustained demand can cost over time. Imagine answering urgent messages every night for months. Even after the project ends, your body may still be prepared for interruption. The next notification is not the only thing keeping you alert. The expectation of the notification has become part of the environment. That does not mean your brain is permanently rewired for drama. It means adaptation can outlast the situation that required it. Now look at what happens in a quiet room. Hypervigilance is a state of heightened alertness to possible danger. In ordinary language, it means scanning for what might go wrong, even when no immediate threat is visible. You may listen for a change in someone's voice, check an unread message before it arrives, or plan 3 responses to a problem that has not happened. Hypervigilance can feel productive. It gives you a task and makes uncertainty feel manageable. You are searching, predicting, preparing. So when life becomes calm, the mind may not experience an empty space. It may experience an unfinished safety check. What if something is about to happen? That question can create its own momentum. You check the news. You refresh the conversation. You find a new responsibility. You pick at a stable relationship until it produces a signal strong enough to explain the tension inside you. The behavior may look like a desire for drama. Internally, it can be an attempt to restore a familiar level of alertness and control. This is where the idea of safety becomes more precise. In safety learning research, a safety signal is a cue that predicts that something aversive will not happen. A quiet house, a reliable relationship, or a finished task can all become evidence that the immediate danger has passed. But recognizing a safety cue and feeling able to use it are not always the same thing. You can know that nobody is angry with you and still feel compelled to inspect every sentence. You can know that you are allowed to rest and still feel guilty when you stop. You can understand that the relationship is stable and still wait for the moment it changes. The room is safe. Your body has not yet learned what to do with that information. There is no single origin story for this pattern. For some people, early unpredictability is part of it. For others, the training comes from years of demanding work, caregiving, unstable relationships, financial pressure, illness, social isolation, or a culture that rewards constant urgency. Temperament matters too. Some people seek more stimulation than others. Some feel most competent when a problem is concrete and immediate. Some have spent so long being the person who handles the crisis that calm removes a role they secretly depend on. So the question is not always, why do I want chaos? Sometimes the better question is, what does chaos allow me to avoid feeling? Urgency can cover exhaustion. It can cover grief. It can cover the fear that without a problem to solve, you will not know who you are. A crisis gives you a clear identity, the capable one, the fixer, the person who stays awake when everyone else is overwhelmed. Peace removes the evidence that you are needed. That can feel like emptiness, even when it is actually space. Now follow the pattern through an ordinary evening. Imagine someone named Mara, She has just finished a difficult project at work. For 3 weeks, she has answered messages late at night and solved problems before anyone asks. On Friday afternoon, the project is approved. Her manager thanks her. Her weekend is suddenly free. For the first hour, she feels restless. Then she notices a vague tightness in her chest. Nothing is wrong, but the sensation feels like a warning. She opens her work inbox. There is one unfinished request from another team. It is not urgent. She makes it urgent anyway. Within minutes, she is planning, writing, and checking. The tension drops. She feels focused again. Mara may later describe herself as someone who cannot relax. But notice the sequence. The quiet came first. The body produced discomfort. The mind interpreted the discomfort as evidence. A new task restored direction, and direction brought relief. The problem was not that she secretly wanted to suffer. The task gave her a familiar way to escape uncertainty. This is reinforcement, but it does not need to be described as a chemical addiction. A behavior becomes more likely when it reliably changes an uncomfortable state. If checking your phone reduces uncertainty for 30 seconds, checking becomes easier to repeat. If taking on another emergency stops you from feeling useless, emergency becomes emotionally rewarding even when it exhausts you. The relief is real. That is why insight alone may not stop the pattern. You are not only trying to reject a bad habit, you are learning to remain present while an old strategy stops working. The practical question is what choice looks like. First, separate the external event from the internal alarm. Is there an actual problem requiring action, or is your body producing urgency because quiet feels unfamiliar? Do not use this question to dismiss danger. Use it to avoid treating every sensation as evidence. Second, name the smallest observable fact. The phone is silent. The meeting is finished. Nobody has asked you to fix anything. Your chest feels tight. Naming facts gives the mind something more reliable than the story it is about to invent. Third, delay the automatic response by a small amount. Sit for 2 minutes before checking. Wait 10 minutes before accepting the new task. Let the first wave of discomfort exist without turning it into a decision. Here is what those steps might look like in real time. You reach for your phone because nobody has replied. The fact is simple. There is no new message. The sensation is also simple. Your body feels unsettled. The interpretation is the part that can wait. Instead of checking again immediately, you place the phone face down and remain where you are for 10 minutes. You are not trying to feel peaceful. You are testing whether discomfort automatically requires action. That distinction matters. If a genuine problem appears, you can respond. If nothing happens, you have gathered a different kind of evidence. An alarm can rise and fall without becoming a crisis. This is not a promise to rewire your nervous system. It is a way of building a new relationship with the first moment of quiet. You can feel an alarm without obeying it immediately. You can remain connected without solving something. You can rest without proving that you deserve to. Grounding can help some people notice the present more clearly. The pressure of your feet against the floor, the temperature of the room, the sound farthest from you. Slow breathing may be useful if it feels comfortable, but it is not a cure, and it should never be used to force yourself through overwhelming distress. If quiet brings panic, flashbacks, severe dissociation, self-harm urges, or danger inside a relationship, this is not a productivity problem to solve alone. Professional support can help you understand what the pattern is protecting and what kind of change is safe. Recovery does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean refusing every challenge or pretending that stability is exciting. It means learning to choose difficulty instead of manufacturing it. It means allowing a good day to remain good without testing it for hidden danger. Eventually, the quiet moment arrives again. The project is finished, the phone is still, the room contains no emergency. The old alarm may appear, but now you can recognize it as information, not instruction. You can ask whether there is a problem in front of you. or only a familiar need to find one. You do not have to create a storm to prove that you can survive it. Peace may feel wrong at first because it gives you no role to perform and no threat to defeat. But a state can be unfamiliar without being unsafe. With time, the system that learned to live in readiness can begin to recognize another possibility. Nothing is wrong right now, and for once, you do not have to turn that silence into a problem. If this pattern feels familiar, subscribe to Silent Observer for more videos about the hidden forces shaping ordinary behavior.